So in this paragraph, we are going to do four things, a total of four things before going forward with our answers. Number one, we will read or go through the entire paragraph. While going through the entire paragraph, we'll do three things. Number one, we will identify the keywords. Number two, we will identify the tone of the passage, whether it's positive or negative. And number three, we will identify tenses in the passage because they also help us come to our answer faster. So these are the four things that we're going to do, go through the paragraph, and while going through the paragraph, keywords, tone, and tenses, these three things. So let's start with our question. The question says, technology has had an dash on relationships in business, education, and social life. So this is an here, and what is the tense used here? Tense uses present perfect simple present perfect. So this is our tense here. This is also going to help us. Technology has had a dash on relationships, business, education, and social life. Firstly, telephones and internet allow business people in different countries to interact without ever is a keyword here. Each other is also a keyword here. Secondly, services like Skype create new dash for relationships between, is a keyword here. For dash, a student, for is a keyword here. A student can now take video lessons with a teacher in a different city or country. Finally, many people use social networks like Facebook to make new friends and find people who share common interest, and they interact through their computers. Then is a keyword here, face to face. So as we can see, the tone is positive in nature. The tenses we have identified wherever we could, and keywords have also been marked. Now let's go through the question again and try to identify the answer. Technology has had an dash on relationships in business, education, and social life. Technology has had an dash. So technology, it is saying that technology has affected relationships, has had an impact on relationships. You don't have control, you don't control on relationships. You have, if you have control, that means you own it. But technology does not own relationships in business, education, and social life. It has had an impact on them. Intervention, no. Influenced, no. Issue, no. Has had an intervention, does not go. Influenced is in past tense, therefore it does not go. So this can be eliminated right out. Firstly, telephones and internet allow business people in different countries to interact without ever dash each other. So it is saying about people in different countries. Therefore, when people in different countries can interact with each other without dash each other, this means that they don't have to meet each other, because that is what flows. Because if I am sitting in India and you are sitting in United States, and we can interact with each other without having the need to what with each other, meet each other. Therefore meeting goes well without ever meeting each other. Looking, we might be looking at each other through Skype. Impersonating, no, not at all. Being and listening is not at all. Next sentence is, secondly, services like Skype create new dash for relationships between students and teachers. Then it takes it forward. For example, a student can now take video lessons with a teacher. So what are we creating here? We are creating possibilities. Therefore, possibilities is our answer. Respect, no, because we are giving an example wherein now a student can take video lessons by sitting in a different city or country altogether. So it is creating new possibilities between teachers and students. Therefore, that flows with our answer. The next is finally, many people, for example. So it is giving an example, therefore the answer is example. Finally, many people use social networks like Facebook to make new friends and find people who share common interest, and they interact through their computers. Than, so what flows with than? Rather than. Rather than go together at all times, and therefore this is our answer. And then don't go together. Against then don't go together. Apart then don't go together. But and then never go together. So the answer is clear, rather than face to face, because it is saying that people on Facebook can make new friends and interact through computer itself, rather than having to sit and meet face to face. Therefore rather flows directly and flows perfectly with the answer. So this is our fifth question. Let's now come to the next question. Let us take our sixth question. In this question also we'll follow the same approach. We will first read the entire question, entire paragraph, and at the same time we will go through all the four things that we went through in the past question, in the previous question, and then we'll have a look at the answer choices and try to find our answer as fast as possible. The question says there is a considerable amount of research about the factors that make a company innovate. So, we are going to talk about certain factors that make a company innovate. So, is it possible to create an environment of innovation? There is a question mark here. Whenever there is a question mark, it's a key letter. Is it possible to create an environment dash to innovation? To is a keyword here. There is a particularly pertinent dash for India today. Massive problems in health, education, etc. can be solved using a conventional approach, but creative and innovative solutions that can ensure radical change and dash. So in this entire paragraph here, there is a positive tone, but it is demanding a change and it is supporting innovation and creativity. It is supporting innovation. So whatever our answer choice has to support innovation at every step. There are several factors in India's dash. Few countries have the, now it is giving out reasons. From here it is giving out reasons as to why is India good in innovation if it follows it. Few countries have the rich diversity, number one, that India has, or its large young population. While these dash innovation policy interventions, certain additional steps are also required. So then it says that whatever reasons we have given, there are certain additional steps that are also required. They include dash investment in research and development by dash the government and the private sector, easy transfer of technology from the academic world, etc. to fulfill its promise of being prosperous and at the forefront, India must be innovative. Now, these are the reasons that it has given. So we have divided the entire paragraph into three small paragraphs or three parts. First is there is a positive tone in the entire paragraph. Second, we are talking about change and supporting innovation. Then we are giving out reasons and then what needs to be done in addition at the end. Let's have a look at the answer choices after we've identified the keywords and the tone of the passage. So our first blank is here. Is it possible to create an environment dash to innovation? Is it possible to create an environment which is supportive of innovation? That is a synonym of supportive has to be our answer. To create an environment, stimuli to innovation. Stimuli to does not follow. Conducive to innovation, incentive to innovation, facilitated to does not follow, impetus to does not follow, because all these are either nouns or verbs. The only one that we have is conducive to innovation, which is an adjective and it follows in the sentence. So unless you are not clear about what needs to be placed where, adjectives, verbs, adverbs, nouns, then you might find it a little difficult. Even when you don't have any idea about adjectives and nouns, then also you can eliminate certain things like facilitated to will not come because this entire sentence is in present simple but facilitated is in past. Incentive to innovation, you either incentivize innovation or you provide incentive to someone, not innovation. So incentive is always provided to some people, some person and not something. Stimuli to innovation also does not follow. The next paragraph is there is a particularly pertinent dash for India today. What is it? It's a question because this is the question that we have raised in the past sentence, in the previous sentence. So the answer is question. Massive problems in health, education, etc. blank be solved using a conventional approach. Now it is saying that the problems that we have cannot be solved using a conventional approach, but we need creative and innovative solutions. So cannot be solved using a conventional approach, but approach but dash or blank creative and innovative solutions that can ensure radical change and dash. What necessary? Apply, need, consider and requires. So here consider does not follow at all, apply does not follow at all, necessary does not follow at all. There is a confusion between need and requires. It says massive problems in health, education, etc. cannot be solved using a conventional approach, but requires, because whatever problems we have, we are dealing with them, or we are considering them in a singular tense and not in a plural tense, and therefore when we are dealing with them or considering them in singular sense, then we go forward with requires, because we are required to put es at the end, and need would be incorrect. There are several and require radical change as well as growth, because advantages, quantity, increase, and chaos do not at all go in this part blank of fifth number. There are several factors in India's. What are India's favors? We are going to talk about favors that India has. Challenges, no, because we are going to talk about the advantages that India has. Praises, no. Favor, yes. Leverage either, although it means advantages, but it does not flow with the question. There are several factors in India's leverage. You provide leverage to someone or something. So there are several factors to India's leverage. Could have been a little more correct, but in leverage does not flow. Esteem, no. Few countries have the rich diversity that India or its large young population enjoys. Is blessed would have been right, so it is wrong here. Endorse does not follow, because it does not mean what exactly is required there. Prevails, no, it does not prevail. It actually enjoys or has an advantage of rich diversity and population. Occurs also does not follow. While these blank innovation policy interventions, while these advantages, whatever India has, it is taking it forward. While these advantages aid or help innovation policy interventions, so what would be the synonym of help? Jeopardize, it is opposite. Promotes will not come, because there is these here. If it had been while this, then promotes would have been right, because it would follow in a single present tense. Endure, no. Cater, not at all. So the answer is 8. Certain additional steps are also required. They include blank investment. We need investment in research and development. That is what the paragraph is saying. Acute is opposite of what we need here. Utilizing, they include utilizing investment in research and development. No, we need more investment in research and development, and the answer therefore is increased. They include increased investment in research and development by blank the government and the private sector, by both the government and the private sector, right? Because we are saying that both the government and the private sector need to invest heavily in research and development. So this is our answer. This is how we come to our answer, along using certain keywords and using tenses as well as the tone of the entire paragraph.